Hi, I'm Shannon, Senior Food Stylist with Taste of Home. Today I'm going to show you how to cook a turkey. One of the first things to consider when cooking turkey is how big of one you're going to need. Today we're going to make a 14-pound turkey, which is about 16 servings. If you think you're going to need more than that, you can either go for a larger turkey or add on an extra turkey breast, especially if you want those leftovers. The next thing to consider is, if you're getting a frozen turkey, how long it's going to take to thaw. So for every 4 pounds, it's going to take about 24 hours to thaw. So you typically are going to want to allow 3 to 5 days for your turkey to fully thaw in the refrigerator before cooking it. Before we get started, there are a few basic things you're going to want to do. First, check inside the cavity for a neck or giblets. Remove those and set them aside. You can either roast the bird on top of those or use them in your gravy. The next thing you're going to want to do is check for any large pieces of fat and remove them. They're just going to cause issues with the cooking and you don't need them. So just pull those out. One of the next things I'm going to do is loosen the skin on the bird a little bit. Because our recipe is going to have an herb butter later, this is going to allow us to easily get that butter everywhere. Some recipes have you just do the breast area. I like to do the legs and thighs as well, because otherwise that flavor is only on the white meat. You really want to get it everywhere if you can. The next step we're going to talk about is brining your bird. This is going to impart a lot of flavor, and it's also going to tenderize and keep the moisture in your turkey. So to make our brine, what I did was I dissolved kosher salt and brown sugar in some water. Just cook that until it is hot enough to dissolve it, added our herbs, and then added cold water. So the reason you add the cold water is to quickly cool down the brine. That way you're not putting your turkey into hot brine. You want it to be at least room temperature or cooler. So I have my cooled brine in a very large stock pot. This is so that I can just add my turkey to the stock pot and it's big enough to hold both. If you do not have a stock pot that is big enough to hold both your turkey and the brine, you can use the roasting pan that you're going to cook it in later. I've got 2 turkey-size oven bags here, one inside of the other. You would put your turkey in the bags and then pour your brine over. Seal one bag and then seal the second bag. This is to make sure nothing spills in your refrigerator. So you want to make sure you have a nice deep pan to do that. The next step we're going to do is make our flavor powerhouse. This is an herbed butter. So for my herbs, I have parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme. Then we have butter, olive oil, salt, pepper, and garlic. I'm going to add all of this to the food processor, but I'm going to give the garlic a little bit of a head start. Just a couple pulses to get it started. Now we can just add everything else. I know this looks like a lot of butter, but it's going to impart a lot of flavor, and there's going to be enough of it to season the entire bird, not just the breast, and it's also going to make the bird self-basting. The butter is going to melt into the meat while it's cooking throughout the entire cooking process so that you don't have to go in and baste the bird while it's cooking. So to make it easier to get that herbed butter distributed evenly over the turkey, I'm actually going to put it into a pastry bag. So I've got a pastry bag folded over a wide mouth jar here just to hold it for me. Our turkey has been in the brine for 24 hours. We took it out. We're going to dry it off. Get as much of the moisture off as we can. Get it out of the cavity as well. So before we brined our bird, we had loosened the skin. The reason is so we can get all of this delicious herb butter under the skin and all over our turkey for flavor. So I have almost all of my butter under the skin, and I've spread it everywhere, into the leg and the thighs, the breast, both sides. I have just a little bit left. I'm gonna go ahead and spread that on the outside to help us get a really nice golden skin. So now that I have it everywhere, I'm gonna go ahead and tuck my wings. So we're gonna tie our legs together here. I'm gonna start with one, give it a knot. Bring the other one over. And I just loop it around. And then do a double knot so that it stays secure. Next, we're gonna use some toothpicks to secure the skin. This is gonna protect the breast meat while it's cooking, so the skin doesn't shrink back and expose the meat to that high heat. It's gonna keep the herb butter over the breast meat, and it's gonna keep the skin in place. Our turkey is ready for the oven, so I'm gonna put it in a nice roasting pan. You wanna make sure it's on a rack. So the rack just keeps it elevated off the bottom of the pan for airflow. I'm gonna start it at a high temperature, 450 degrees, for about a half an hour, just to really start the browning and the cooking process. Then we'll lower the oven to 325 degrees for about 3 to 3.5 hours, depending on the size of your turkey. If you don't have a rack for your roasting pan, you can always use vegetables and other aromatics. You can see here I've just got a variety of vegetables and herbs. You could also use the neck or the giblets from your turkey. Anything that you add is just gonna make a super flavorful gravy later. So here is our finished turkey in all of its glory. At this point, we wanna let it sit for at least 20 minutes to start to cool down. That's gonna allow the juices that we worked so hard to create time to distribute back into the meat. If you cut into it when it's very hot like this, they're just gonna run all over your cutting board and you're gonna end up with a dry, sad turkey. When it's cool enough to handle, you can also pull out these toothpicks. Look at our lovely turkey. It's got a deep golden brown color from all of that butter. You can see the herbs that are gonna give it amazing flavor. The brine gave us a nice crispy skin. This is everything that you want from your turkey. Does not have to be just for Thanksgiving. Any special occasion, this would be worth it.